Hey guys, PSI here with another dueling video. Last video I got a request to face a Vengeance Juggernaut and a Concealment Operative, so I decided to grab a couple of friends from the guild and duel both of them in multiple specs. Vengeance Jug duels I took Madness and Madness only because with smart play and reflecting my attacks I probably could have two-shotted myself as Lightning. And for the Concealment Operative I played all three specs, Hybrid, Lightning, and Madness. All of them were pretty effective in beating him. I do want to mention, though, that both of these players were a little bit out of their game, or off their game, I should say, because they don't main these classes. The Concealment Operative usually mains a Marauder, and Opfodum, the Vengeance Jug, is usually a Marauder, or a tank. So anyways, let's get to it. And plain and simple, starting off, the objective for both of them was to stay away or as far away from them as I could. If I was in range of them, it was because I couldn't get away from them and didn't have any way to get away from them. Also in this video, you'll notice that a couple of times against the Juggernaut, I was at least maybe 10, maybe a little bit more feet away from them, and their CCs would literally warp me back to their position. I know this is a mix between server lag, my lag, and the player's lag, because as I was dueling him, he would tell me on his screen it looked like I was standing right next to him. Either way, this has a huge effect on the duels that we had. I did lose a few. Unfortunately, you don't see them in this game because I wasn't recording any of them, but I did lose. Anywho, for the Juggernaut, I played strictly Madness because I needed the snares. With his immunity to stuns and whatnot, I needed something to get away from him. And it just happened to be a spam of Creeping Terror. You'll notice in the duels against him, I did nothing but spam Creeping Terror and Affliction while timing CCs and knockbacks. Also in this last one, you'll notice that I dodged and then parried 2 of his stuns back to back. Or not his stuns, sorry, his charge. And you'll notice how big of an impact a missed charge can have on it. And it's also extremely gratifying. Anywho, so another thing I want to bring up is the influx of people saying that sorcerers are not good DPS. And while I will say that they are not the greatest DPS in the game, people seem to forget that their burst rotation is extremely high. I did some primitive math, as we'll put it, and it rounds out to about, in a perfect rotation with the perfect damage, perfect, RNG, all that jazz, rounds out to about 19k damage within one burst rotation. We'll take into account Polarity Shift was used, and all 3 crits from Recklessness procced on the correct attacks. A crit Chain Lightning, a crit Force Lightning use, and a crit Shock. All of those things considered, it's roughly 20k, and in the worst case scenario, it's probably around 10 to 13 or 15k, which is still a lot. So before we go crying foul that the class is not as good as it could be, you're really kind of wrong. Feel free to debate me on it all you want, but people know that they're not bad. They have the tools to get away from people, and they've got off heals should it be necessary. Anyway, so the duels here are taking place against the Operative, where he spent a lot of his energy trying to stay with me, which I can't knock too much because the whole point is to keep the Sorcerer in one spot, and he's not going to be able to do that from range, so he has to use a lot of his energy rolling towards me. And he did it fairly well too. A couple of the duels he did go a little overboard with the rolls, and would put himself out of energy and couldn't do anything to me. On other ones he managed it quite well and was able to keep up with me. But for the most part it was again staying out of range, dotting him, sitting in bubble as you can see here, and otherwise stunning him, keeping him from off healing. And like I said in the beginning of the video, he was severely out of practice with DPS as he usually heals with this class, and if he's not healing with this class, he's playing a Marauder. But I needed someone, and I figured I'd duel him. So anyway, that's about it. There's one more duel left, and it pretty much was the same thing. Another thing I would like to mention is I appreciate everybody's nomination for the class rep. I was given a heads up that the name will be on the list, so I will need you guys to vote one more time if you truly think I deserve to have it. And if you do, appreciate it. If not, I hope someone knowledgeable gets it so that they can put our class in the right direction. That's it for now. But this last duel here against the Operative was probably one of the best timed bubble stuns. You may have noticed it. Immediately as it fell off, I did not click it off, this was by luck. It stunned him as he was nearing me, and so I used it to knock him back and set up a burst rotation, and that's pretty much where the duel ended. So I hope you guys enjoyed these. I'm going to be doing a sniper here pretty soon, and a couple of other classes, maybe even a shadow, of which I expect to lose just about all of the duels, and if not, fantastic. See you later, guys.